we're circling the edge of the void and going to go where no man has gone before with the Collision Devices Blackhole Symmetry. This is a multi-effects pedal that combines modulated delay, pitch shifting reverb, and a big old fuzz knob in the center to get you sounds from mellow, melodic, ambient, all the way up to shoegazy walls of noise. But I think it particularly excels at trippy, psychedelic, and, well, spacey sounds. To me, this is space rock in a box. We're also going to be taking a look at the Eventide Blackhole plugin, which offers you the same airy, supermassive reverb sounds as the pedal of the same name. What happens when a black hole enters a black hole? Let's find out. Blackhole Symmetry is a large, hefty, I guess you could say supermassive, pedal made by Collision Devices in France. It basically has 3 different sections to it. The Ergosphere is a modulated delay component, and its parameters are controlled by the medium-sized knobs around the perimeter. Without the Singularity fuzz on, the signal level really needs to be boosted for this, so I'm going to be using my Wampler compressor to provide volume and sustain heading into this effect. On my Stratocaster, it seems to work best with the middle pickup, so I'll keep that setting on while we try each section separately and then combine them together. In my opinion, this is the most unique and defining feature of the pedal between the modulation and the feedback that can be dialed in to create an oscillating blanket of sound. Event Horizon controls a combination of pitch shifting and reverb. Cranking the echo up creates a very long, drawn-out, spacey reverb, and that thin, airless vacuum can be given a little more presence by turning up the pitch. True to its name, Singularity is one large single knob in the middle of the pedal that controls fuzz. Fuzz is definitely a silicon one, but beyond that, I don't have much to say and it doesn't seem very noteworthy. Any of the 3 sections by themselves might not seem like much to write home about, but combining these effects creates something greater than the sum of its parts. All of these murky, airy, crunchy, and oscillating effects merge together to create a cosmic soup of sound. That's the main thing I love about this pedal. I especially love it just to make these long, drawn-out, nebulous blankets of sound. If nothing else, it makes a nice textured backdrop to play more clear and chimey melody notes over. Speaking of chimey, let's try out the Danelectro 12-string. We'll start with the retro lipstick bridge pickups. modulation and undulating feedback oscillations give this pedal an almost psychedelic feeling. So let's try it with something else I think of when I think of trippy, spacey vibes. The sitar. For the final part of this video, I'm going to use these dreamy sounds to create a song. In this case, I'm going to do a mellow, sparse, spacey cover of Rocket Man by Elton John. First step was to get the guitar tabs from Ultimate Guitar. Then I simply set some sweeping, undulating, reverby sounds in the black hole symmetry to create a moving but murky backdrop to drift through. To go with this vast and murky vibe, I decided to use my Ibanez Art Core with humbuckers, and since I'm not using the fuzz here, I made sure to boost the signal and sustain with my compressor. But there was another step. Even with the reverb of the BHS, I wanted an even more airy, droning feel. I wanted the sounds to flow in a smooth, soft, aurora-like cloud, and to create a floating atmosphere in which the basic chord progression is still present, but more as a wash. So I decided to use the Eventide Blackhole plugin. This is a very spacious, airy, galactic-sounding reverb that's quite frankly awesome. I mean, look at these presets. Flood and Alan Mulder, Jonesy and Alex with their own Sigur Rós preset. Say no more. I applied a fairly subtle amount with the mix knob at only 33, but subtle is not what this effect is about. Check out what happens when I lower the volume on the input and increase it on the output, then crank the resonance and mix way up. Sounds like I'm playing guitar. You can't hear the strums at all. Instead, you hear a huge swell of ambience that sounds like a choir of angels singing in the cosmos. I also used a few plugins for the vocal track. I applied a compressor directly from Ableton, mainly to ensure that the volume levels were fairly consistent all along. To get the radio transmission sound on the voice, I used the RC20 Retro Color plugin, which is a collection of lo-fi effects, and I just like the simplicity of its interface, but in reality you can use anything that lets you cut off the low and high frequencies. You can use either a bandpass filter or a low pass and high pass filter combined. In fact, that's what I've done for my voice in these videos, using the low and high pass filter effects in Adobe Premiere. Finally, I wanted the vocals to match the floating in space feeling of the underlying guitar, and when I tried using Black Hole, it was simply way too big and airy, so instead I resorted to using a tiny bit of delay via the Valhalla delay plugin.
She packed my bags last night, pre-flight.
I knew I needed at least one more part to the music, because my remake was far simpler and more repetitive than the original song. So I improvised some simple note progressions on the guitar using just the compressor to get a crisp, twangy sound that would cut through the murky background layer and have a strong presence. I chose a really compressed, flattened sound because at its core, Rocket Man feels like a sad and lonesome song, not unlike some of the old-school cowboy country music that also employed this very compressed sound. My goal was to create a mood that was spacious and ambient, but also lonesome and haunting.
She packed my bags last night, pre-flight. 0 hour, 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high as a kite by then. I miss the earth so much, I miss my wife. Slowly out in space on such a time. Rocket Man. Rocket Man. Rocket Man. I'm a Rocket Man. Mars ain't the kind of place to raise a kid. In fact, it's cold as hell, and there's no one there to raise them if you did. And all the science I don't understand. It's just my job 5 days